There we go. This thing's not be working for me. All right. So, hello, Jacqueline Joyce Revere. I stutter. For those of you who have never seen my videos ever again, I'm going to talk a little bit about stuttering and dating. I just exfoliated my face and I am feeling it. Okay. So there are telltale signs for me when I'm starting out the dating process to kind of like weed people out who I want to date and who I don't want to date. And I'm going to show like two really big red signs because I don't really have tons of time to record this, but I went over some notes and I was just like, let me share a little bit for all the stutterers out there who want to just kind of, who maybe have trouble in the dating world and so on. And so here we go. So thankfully, my dating life hasn't really been dictated by my speech. I know it seems like I'm a bit more fluent right now, but like I was a severe stutterer. And I had what was called situational stuttering, which means I could be fluent in some situations, but with higher pressure situations, I was like jammed up, blocked. I couldn't get words out at all. And it happened a lot. It still happens. I still definitely stutter. But it's smoothed out the older I've gotten. Now, I've been able to avoid certain types of situations that could be detrimental to my self-esteem as a person who doesn't speak fluently, and it's because I've avoided certain types of men. So something that is a telltale sign for me always starting out a relationship with someone is when they first approach you and they find out that you stutter and say, damn, like it don't even matter that you stutter, you so cute. Or like they note that your stutter is less important because of a physical attribute, or especially if it's a physical attribute. If it's not like you're so smart, that it doesn't even matter, or like you carry on good conversation even though you stutter, that's more of a compliment. If they are only complimenting you on your physical and saying that they don't care about your speech because of that, then they're a no-go. They are a no-go. And the experience that I've had with men who do that is that, ooh, olive in my eye. Let me look at my notes. Like noting a flaw in you that they find you attractive despite it, and then being able to say that when they first meet you just shows that there's an audacity for them to even speak those words aloud before getting to know you, and denotes the superiority complex that they have regarding speech and you. And I promise you, like 9 times out of 10 in those situations, if the relationship splits up, which most relationships do, we date plenty of people before we find that one person that we spend the rest of our life with, or we just date, we date for forever. Who knows? That's life. But those sorts of people, usually the end of the relationship, they'll then use it. Like, well, I dated you even though you this, or like, I spent time with you even though this, as if your speech is a reason for them to not want to spend time with you. Like, it's not equal to me saying like, well, I dated you even though your car's jacked up and you run out of gas all the time. Because those are actually things he could change. He could change his car. He could change the fact that he runs out of gas on the freeway 24/7. This sounds like a personal story, right? But like it's using your speech as a charity case, as an effort to denounce who you are and denounce their like for you is sort of just an asshole move. It just kind of shows who they are as a person, and it also shows that the physical, of course, was the only attraction that they really had, which is most men's initial attraction. So I get it, but like, not important. It's not important. So I'm about to go into a story. So I just went out, which was what was supposed to be a work date. Not even a work date. It was supposed to be like a work dinner, which was, it was clearly outlined as that. I went out on a work dinner with the father of a huge megastar, super duper megastar. But this guy told me that he doesn't even see me as an adult because of my stutter. Like, he's like, you're not grown up yet. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, when you don't do that, you'll be an adult. And so I'm like, so aside from what my birth certificate says and like the amount of responsibilities that I personally carry and hold up like a fucking adult, I'm not an adult to you because of my speech, which makes it even odder because this man then tried to sleep with me. But like the instances like that, you can absolutely tell that starting a relationship with someone or starting any type of work relationship or anything with that, they're using this against you. They're building up a case to not work with you if something doesn't pan out right. And so these are just sort of signs that I use to keep myself out of bad situations. Because, you know, stutterers, we wear our perceived flaw on our sleeves. This isn't something we can hide. It's not something we can just kind of tuck away. Like, ooh, I got bad credit, but you won't know until, you know, we talk about it. Or, I don't know, I have emotional withdrawal for where when there's a problem that we need to talk about, I just emotionally withdraw. Like that's not my issue, but that can be someone's issue that they can never deal with because they know how to hide it. You know, like we can't hide our issues. Chucky's my favorite. I'm looking at my notes, so excuse me. I'm just kind of trying to stay on topic. I've been flowing all the way around though. Now, I know for people who stutter, acceptance is something that we have a hard time with, you know, accepting the fact that we stutter, and especially it's so hard to when we live in a world full of people who don't, you know, like, and especially now because we live in a such fast-paced society where everything is quick. I talk fast even, you know, like I do media and I write scripts, and like the goal is to get to the point and then get to the meat, and then, you know, make sure you're keeping people's attention and making sure it keeps like moving. We don't really have patient films anymore, like films that just sort of flow along, and that is absolutely a sign of the times and people's attention spans, and keeping people's attention is not easy. And when, you know, you have pauses in between when you speak, especially sometimes I count the amount of words people can say in 10 seconds. People can say up to like 15 words in 10 seconds. People can say more than 15 words in 10 seconds. Actually, let's count. I'm going to start saying a bunch of stuff right now. Okay, so, no, that's not going to work. I'm going to need to like time it and stuff. Okay, this is weird. But I don't just want to put this on men, because I've had this experience with women also. Women who I may have been like working with, or we may have been friends or something, and, you know, when our work relationship went sour, the first thing they went to was, bitch, you can't even talk. And it's just sad that we, you know, like you wouldn't say that to someone in a wheelchair. Like, bitch, you can't even walk down the street, bitch, dumb hoe. You wouldn't do that, because we live in a society that like says, hey, you're a bad person when you say that kind of shit. And people with speech impediments don't really get that same respect. But such is life. I don't know what to say about that. Y'all are just assholes. But to sort of end it all up, I don't know if there's a way to keep this from happening. Like, society as a whole would have to change. And morally, we're really in a really tricky place right now as a society, especially in America. Like, there's a lot going on that I am just not happy with, and it just makes me sad all the time. But I just want to put these videos out to just kind of like help in any way. I hope it helps. If this lets you know that like you're not alone, and that sometimes people are assholes and all of that, I hope it helps, Y'all be good. Mwah.